Aren't you glad I didn't say banana? Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, happy hump day. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. I got off of like 4 hours of incredible superhero television, so I'm actually doing pretty well. I'm not gonna lie.
That's great.
You know, just Watchmen, Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm in it. I'm all in it. Let's do this.
And I can think of another reason why you're probably doing really well, which is going to sort of be our theme of tonight's episodes, because if you watched last episode, you'll know that this past weekend, Kyle and I had an epic battle in fantasy football. For the second time this season, our two teams met up. The first game, it's funny, because the first game was actually the first game of the season, and then the second time was the last game of the regular season, so kind of sort of meeting at both ends type thing. And I won the first one, but fortunately for Kyle, unfortunately for me, he won the second time. So we're going to kind of recap that and also look ahead to our league's playoffs. So, Kyle, I guess I'll go over my team first, like how sort of my team fared this week, and then you can go over yours. Let me pull it up here. Yeah. Sorry, had to do the Arnold voice. So the final score was 122.04 to 106.04. And on my team, Jacoby Brissett had 22 points. It was actually pretty good for him. Miller, the receiver for Chicago, had 10 points. Ridley, who, by the way, is now on the IR, has 13 points. Ouch. Sammy Watkins had 5 points. Alvin Kamara had a rough game. He only had 2 points. Oh. But Melvin Gordon had 14 points. Zach Ertz had 21. Griffin, my tight end, had less than a point. My kicker, Gonzalez, had 5 points. And then the Indianapolis defense had 11 points. So, it was kind of a mixed bag. Some guys perform, well over their projected points, and some guys perform well under their projected points. And unfortunately, just couldn't quite get above the fold this week, or get over the hump this week. And I came up a little bit short. So, Kyle, first of all, before I throw it over to you to go over your team, congratulations on your win.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, so very well. Then why don't you go over how your team fared this week?
Whew, man. So it's been some pretty good, the high-scoring ones. I'll start with them. So Winston was Jameis Winston. My God, that guy he's incredible. He's amazing. Scored 37 points. Wow, he was on fire. Just literally on fire. Then of course there was Allen Robinson, who scored 16 points, which is pretty good. He's always been, I think this year he's definitely my best wide receiver. He's pretty solid. And then Diggs, so Stephon Diggs, not as good, like 9.2, but I don't know, I noticed he's not doing as good in the back half of the season as he was at the beginning, but you win some, you lose some, so.
Well, you won in this case. In this case, you won it.
You win some, you win some. And then, of course, I think my other big player was Jared Cook, who got 18 points. He was this tight end that I picked. Auto-drafted, if you really want to go technical there. But I had him. Or actually, I don't think I picked him. I'm trying to remember if I actually added him at...
Doesn't matter. He's on your team now. He performed well.
Anyways, he performed really well. He had a very inconsistent season, but he knocked it out of the park, And the rest of the team did fine. They didn't do too bad. They fared okay. So, sorry, I can see my breath in this room. Hold on. Can you see that?
A little bit.
Okay. It's kind of hard. But, so it was pretty solid overall. Yeah.
Yeah, so good way to end out the year for you. And, in the final league standings, Kyle ended up finishing second place with a 10-4 overall record.
Ooh.
So big congratulations to you. And then I ended up finishing in 11th place with a 5-9 record. Kind of disappointing, but it happens. The bends, the breaks. So now we actually move on, starting this week, to the playoff portion of our schedule. And there's actually two brackets in our playoffs. There's the consolation bracket and the championship bracket. So I'm going to sort of go over with you both brackets and sort of look at all the matchups this weekend in terms of our playoffs. So in the championship bracket, Get IR finished in first, and they have a bye week.
Right.
Kyle's team, the Legion of Doom, as I said, finished in second. They get a bye week into the semifinals.
Legion of Doom. Oh, yeah.
And then in the two actual quarterfinal matchups that are going to take place this weekend, you have Team Boss, which is the third seed, taking on Relax, which is the sixth seed. And in that one, actually, the sixth seed is projected to win 103.8 to 85.38. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe a potential upset there. And then in the 4-5 matchup, you have Skull 1, the 4 seed, taking on first place, the 5 seed. And that one is actually supposed to be kind of close. First place favored 100.98 to 93.68. So actually both lower seeded teams are favored in the quarterfinal. And then looking at the consolation part of the bracket, we had two teams with byes as well. Woe and Nelly, the 7th seed, and Sasha Rose, the 8th seed, both got byes. And then in the two consolation matchups this weekend, we have Maroon and Maze, the 10th seed, taking on myself, the 11th seed, and I am favored. I'm not favored, actually. I'm the underdog by 5 points currently. But again, we'll see what happens. You never know till the games are played. And then the 9-12 matchup, you have Brutal Points League against Donkey Punchers, and Brutal Points League is favored 97 to 81 in that one.
Sorry, the Donkey Punchers.
So it's interesting how in the 4 matchups this weekend, on the championship side, the underdog, like the lower seeded teams, are favored, whereas in the consolation, the higher seeded teams are favored. So it kind of be interesting to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we'll definitely be keeping you up to date on the playoffs as they go on here these next couple of weeks, looking towards the crowning of a league champion, which could definitely be Kyle. We'll have to wait and see. Just out of curiosity, before I move on to the next segment, what are your thoughts about getting the number 2 seed and sort of looking ahead to the playoffs?
Honestly, I did not expect that. In this particular league, I don't think I've ever placed actually in this league. This is my, I think, 3rd year now, right? In this
second, it's either your second or third, but yeah, you're.
It's one of the two, either second or third. But I don't think I've ever placed before, which is kind of crazy. So I didn't think I'd get this far, especially with an auto drafted team. I did make some changes along the way, but I don't know. It was kind of surprising. It caught me out of left field. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, good luck, like I said, and obviously I'll be rooting you on from the consolation side of the bracket.
Me too, Robbie. I'll root for you too.
Good job. Yeah. All right, man.
Good luck, dude.
Boom. But yeah, so now I want to move on to the Robbie's favorite football recap, because while the high school season is done, we do have some college, and obviously the Patriots are definitely going strong. So BC, as I told you last week, did earn a spot in a bowl game, and they found out on Sunday their bowl destination. They'll be playing Cincinnati in the Birmingham Bowl in Birmingham, Alabama, on January 2nd at 3 p.m. So,
nice.
In Cincinnati, pretty tough team. They're actually nationally ranked to end the year. So it's gonna be a good one. Unfortunately for BC, their star running back AJ Dillon announced yesterday that he is entering the NFL draft and foregoing his senior season. And as part of that announcement, he announced that in order to prepare for the draft and the combine, he's actually going to be skipping the team's bowl game, which has become kind of like has become more of a commonplace in this day and age of college football. So it's too bad that he's not going to be out there one last time for the Eagles, but definitely want to send him a big shout out for a tremendous career and for helping BC, at least get back to another bowl game. So it's going to be fun to watch to see if the Eagles come January 2nd can take home the bowl victory and get that 7th win to close out the year. Especially after last year, their bowl game was actually postponed or was canceled by Lightning in the first quarter, so they never actually got to play the full game. So this year, hopefully, we'll actually be able to play a full bowl game. But anyway, the Patriots. As I may have mentioned last week, I was at the Patriots game last week. Unfortunately, the Patriots came up a little bit short, falling 23-16 to the Kansas City Chiefs, which was a very exciting game, but just a couple things didn't go the Patriots' way, including the refs. But it happens, and now unfortunately the Patriots find themselves at 10-3 with 3 games left in the regular season. But the good news is that their last 3 games are all very winnable games, as they will be taking on Cincinnati this weekend, followed by visits from Buffalo and Miami. So excuse me. So it's going to be very exciting.
Which I will also go.
I was about to say. Yeah, you're
a week from now, or a week from this Saturday. I'm about to go to
I think it's the Buffalo game that you're going to, which is actually probably the most exciting one of the 3. So you actually picked a good one. So you're definitely. We'll have to get a recap from you come our next episode after that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so. Obviously the Patriots, they've unfortunately lost 2 in a row, but as we've seen in past years, even if they have kind of a tough end of the season, they always seem to find a way to become playoff time to really turn it on. So hopefully they can do that again this year. Kyle, you have anything else for us this week?
I just wanted to talk really quickly about this game I started playing. So I want to go back in the video game review section like I did last week.
Yeah.
And, I do have this game that I love. It's called The Collection of Mana, and it's for the Nintendo Switch. So I've been playing a whole bunch of Switch games. I don't know if you guys caught the last episodes where I got a new Switch a few weeks back, or actually about a month or 2 back now, and I've been playing a whole bunch of games for it, and I got this one called The Collection of Mana, where it's a collection of 3 games. One's called, and it's basically Collection of Mana. It's a series that it's like a spin-off of Final Fantasy. It's an RPG, but you can go around, and it's like a hack and slash as opposed to turn-based. So basically, you fight enemies along the way, type of deal. You can go to towns, level up. It's like that kind of style of game. And so it's what's really special about this collection is that it takes the first game in the series. It's actually called Final Fantasy Adventure. They really cemented it as a spin-off. So it's like basically you're playing like a Game Boy game on the big screen, which is like really cool. Like I don't know if anyone back then had the original Game Boy, like the hulking big like handheld machine that. But so it's cool. So it's like this time you don't have to get the cartridge. You can just put it on you can play on the big screen, and it's really nice, and it's like good updated graphics and everything. You can change the colors of it too, so they have these like kind of extra features. You can even save anywhere you want in the game, which is kind of nice. You can just pop the game in and pick back up where you left off, type of deal. So and then the second game is called Secret of Mana. That one came out for Super Nintendo, and it's a great game. It's a classic. I think for those of you who hadn't played it, I think it's definitely a great chance to play that game. It's very similar to the first game, Final Fantasy Adventure, but they expanded on it more colors, it's very vibrant. And then the third game, which I think is the show stealer of the whole collection, It's called Trials of Mana. The cool thing about that, so it's basically the sequel to Secret of Mana, and it's basically so. What happened with that game though is that it never came out in the U.S. It was always in Japan. It was stuck in Japan. Like they never made an official release for the U.S. So until this collection came out. So if you really want to get that whole series, you really want to. If you're a completionist like me and you want the whole series, then it's a good way to get into it. And also the other cool thing about especially Secret of Mana and Trials of Mana, those last 2 games, it's co-op, so you can do 2-player. You can just like
2-player games are always cool,
right? You can grab a buddy, you can level up, and you can. And there's not many RPGs that you can do it like that. So I think it's one of those. It's one of those kind of rare games that it's a SquareSoft game. It's just a great series. It's a great RPG series. They got great visuals. The stories are pretty awesome. If you like anime style kind of, it's really cool. It's a great game to explore. I think you have a lot of fun with it, so if you want to look for something like that, a game for the holidays, I definitely recommend that if you like RPGs. So
nice. All right, well, thank you, Kyle, as always, for that review. Definitely a lot of good stuff there. So, so that was going to wrap up this week's edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And by the way, if you are in a fantasy football league of your own, and you're in the playoffs this week or coming up, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. Sort of even drop us a comment, sort of tell us how you did in your fantasy league this year. We'd love to hear from fellow fantasy football players out there. But anyway, until next time, he's Kyle, I'm Robbie, signing off for On a Couch Talking Sports, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, everybody. Hump Day! Yeah! What if we just did the episode, like, both of us holding oranges the whole time?
You want to just do that?
Yeah, but, didn't even make reference to it at all. Just, pretend it was completely normal. What?
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. We won't even, mention the fact that we have oranges on.
I love that.
Are you ready?
When I talk, I'll be like this. I'll be like...
Yeah, I mean, it's like we this orange. Just make it obvious that we have oranges in our heads. All right, here we go.
This is great.
You ready?
Yeah. All right.
Compose yourself, man.
Okay, all right.
Compose yourself.
Whoa, okay. 3 hours of epic superhero television. Actually, 4 hours. Can't watch me when we got it.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
5, 4, 3.